Hi, it's Deb from Deb's Days. It's Tutorial Tuesday, and today we're making these fabric football coasters. While our Sunday parties for the big game may be shut down this year, it doesn't mean we can't do something special for our household bubble to decorate for that big game party. Before I get started, I publish new content frequently, so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And check out the blog at debsdays.com, where you'll find even more free sewing and crafting projects. All right, let's get this project started. Along with your regular sewing supplies, for this project you'll need some brown fabric. A 1/4 yard of brown fabric will get you 4 coasters. You'll need some cotton batting pieces measuring 5 inches by 8 inches. If you want an extra fluffy coaster, you can use 2 per coaster, otherwise just use 1. You'll also need some rickrack. There are different widths of rickrack. You can find really narrow and much wider rickrack. It's up to you which kind you prefer to use. I'm going to use white. You could also use a color that matches your favorite team if you'd like. And then you'll need the template downloaded from debsdays.com. You can find the template along with these fabric measurements at Deb's Days. I've added a link in the description below this video. The first thing we need to do is cut our fabric into 5-inch by 8-inch pieces. And then we also need to cut out our football templates. Then let's assemble our footballs. Place your fabric with the right side facing up. On top of that, put another piece of fabric with the right side facing down. On top of that, place a piece of batting. Be sure all your edges are lined up. Then grab one of your templates and place it right smack dab in the middle. Pin the template on. Now we're going to take this to the machine and we're going to actually stitch right around the outside of this paper, all the way around, but we do need to leave a space for turning. We're going to very carefully take a couple stitches forward and a couple back, and then we're going to go ahead and work our way around, right along the outside edge, trying not to catch the paper. I've worked my way around, and now I'm back to that opening spot. Take a couple stitches forward, a couple back, and then I do one more just for good measure. I did run the paper over a couple spots here, but that's okay. Just be very careful as you pull the paper away from the stitching. Let's go ahead and put the rest of them together. Fabric right side facing up, the other piece right side facing down. Place the batting right on the top and place a pattern piece. Pin it and again take it to the machine, stitch all the way around, leave a space for turning. Do that with all the remaining pieces. When those are all finished, we need to go ahead and cut out around our stitching. I'm going about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Now with those spots that we left for turning, we need to cut out a little bit of the extra batting in that space. I clip up to the stitching on one side and then on the other side. Then we'll go ahead and clip across. We also need to clip off those points and then turn it right side out. You may find you need to stick something up into that point to get it to push out all the way. I just use my scissors to do that. And then it's time to work on that opening. Fold it under that 1/4 inch seam allowance that you had. Now this is something you can just eye and just work back and forth until you get the look that you like. Go ahead and press it down with your iron. Go ahead and get all of your football coasters turned right side out and get those openings turned under and pressed. When you have those all finished, we're going to take those to the machine and we need to close up those openings. And I go about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the football to close it up. I'm using white thread, but you can use thread that matches your fabric if you'd like. While I'm stitching to close it up, I'm going to go ahead and just continue my stitching to top stitch the football coaster. And then we'll do the same with all the other coasters. And when those are done, it's time for the rickrack. You can use whatever you'd like. You could even use a color that matches your favorite team. On a football, there are actually 8 laces that go across the football. It's difficult to get 8 to fit on a coaster, so I'm going to go with 5. I'm using this narrower rickrack, but if you're using a wider rickrack, you might only be able to get 3 to fit on the coaster. The first piece I'm going to place is going to go just straight down the middle. I'm going to use a glue stick to temporarily hold it in place. Then on my next one, I'm going to kind of curve it to mimic the shape of the football. And then do the same on the other side and curve it that direction. If you want to measure them to make sure they're evenly spaced, you can do that. I'm choosing not to. We're going to curve again over here and then a curve back over here. The thing about the glue stick is it's nice to be able to adjust it. Now for the middle longer lace, I'm going to go just straight on down the middle and place that longer piece of rickrack on it. Now we'll head on over to the machine and sew that on. We're going to first stitch on down the middle from one end to one end because then it's going to hold these side pieces down for just a little bit for us. When you reach the end, go ahead and flip around because we're going to work our way back now. I'm going to stitch back over some of my stitching, and then I'm going to branch out to the side to get these pieces. Then when I get at the end, I'm going to flip it around and go back the other way. I'm at the end, I've turned around, I'm going to come all the way over here. When I get to the end, I'm going to turn it around again. I'm going to work my way back here. Then I'm going to move down here, over here, back here, all the way until I'm at the end. And with that, you have some fabric coasters you've made for the big game. If you'd like to see more sewing and craft projects, check out the blog at debsdays.com. And if you'd like to see my newest sewing and crafting projects, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time with another project.